Let's kick it.
Yeah, we out of house, yo, kick it!
Kick it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of American Soccer Quick Kicks. I'm your host, David Wright. Why soccer? And specifically, why MLS? And so I'm going to try to attempt to answer that a little bit. Like, what is it about this sport that appeals to me? If I can get, if I can get non-soccer fans to kind of understand the appeal and understand the draw, and maybe educate them on, or educate you if I need to, on how to watch a game and how to be able to appreciate the flow of play and not just see a bunch of random guys running around with the ball ping-ponging everywhere and not going in the goal. And that's all you see. You know, it's hard to stay engaged. So I am not going to cover it in this video, but coming up very soon, hopefully this week, I'm going to do videos attempting to explain the offside rule and also just how to watch a game and like how to appreciate the action that's going on the field. Because even people that are maybe fairly strong U.S. soccer watchers, even if they don't watch club soccer, they'll tune in for a national game, but they still don't understand like how the different positions on the field work, what the patterns of play are, and they still, you know, truly aren't able to understand and see what's happening on the field. And I'm going to try to get into all that a little bit, do my best to explain some of that. That's going to be outside the scope of this video because I'll try to keep all these really short. Again, if you're somebody who's like, I just see a ball bouncing around and goals not being scored. I mean, I don't know how anybody gets into this. I get it. I really do. I'm going to cover that. To me, once you can see the code, it all kind of unlocks for you. Do you remember those old stereograms they had? That's probably in the 90s, where it looks like a bunch of static printed on a printed page. But if you unfocus your eyes or if you focus past the page and you do it long enough, suddenly you can see a 3D object and now it's very clear. To me, soccer is kind of like that. Like it's a bunch of static, it's a bunch of nonsense. But once you're able to like see it properly, then you get it. Then you understand. And at that point, you know, you're kind of hopeless. You're going to be like me. You'll be on YouTube doing your own videos. But it's once you're able to see the code and appreciate the beauty of the game for what it is, and not have to see a goal scored in order to understand that a match has been well played, then you'll get it. But let me narrow down a little bit more. Why MLS? Okay. Well, I know why not MLS. See, the problem with this country now is not that we don't have soccer fans in this country. We do. We have soccer fans, and they watch soccer on TV on a regular basis. The problem for MLS is that those soccer fans in America are not MLS fans. They're watching the English Premier League, they're watching Bundesliga in Germany, they're watching Serie A in Italy, or they're watching Liga MX in Mexico. One of the legacies, I guess the legacy of the 1994 World Cup, which was played in the United States, was that it grew the sport in this country. And what we wanted to see, especially as we launched Major League Soccer, is we wanted to develop an audience in this country for the sport. That has happened. Unfortunately, the plot twist we didn't see coming was that technology, particularly streaming technology, and all these various competing media rights packages, we now have all the leagues in the world available to us. And so where Major League Soccer we thought would be the product that would be offered to the American soccer fan, they now have other options. And now they can watch Premier League if they want to, or Bundesliga or Serie A or anything else. And as Americans, as American sports fans, we're used to watching the best leagues in the world for their respective sports. You know, we've been kind of spoiled. The NBA, right? The NFL, Major League Baseball. This sport, those sports are being played in other places in the world, but nowhere is it being played at the same level as what's being played in America. We have the best leagues. We attract the world's best athletes in those sports, and the game is played at its highest level, and that's what's given to us on television. None of that applies to Major League Soccer. Major League Soccer is not the best league in the world. That may not surprise you. And so people that do choose to watch, largely, in the majority, are choosing to watch leagues that have more respect worldwide. They'd rather get up early on a Saturday morning and watch Arsenal versus Liverpool than to stay up late on a Saturday night to watch Cincinnati versus Columbus. Why? I understand that the game is played at a higher level in other leagues, What I'm not able to do is care. I mean, why should I care if Arsenal and Liverpool are playing each other? I don't care. That's in England. Okay, so soccer is played everywhere, and so it also it become it so therefore it can become very localized. Like if and you'll see this throughout England too. Not just the Premier League, but the lower levels of play, these teams, these professional clubs get into small towns and small areas, and in that local area you see a very a loyal fan base. And to me, soccer is about finding your local club and supporting what's local. And Major League Soccer, for better or for worse, is what we have in America. And I can't watch a soccer game unless I have a rooting interest. I need to have some sort of investment in the stakes. And I am removed from all the stakes being played in England or Germany or Italy or Mexico or anywhere else. But in Major League Soccer, where I grew up in Georgia, and I'm a fan of all the Atlanta sports teams. So I was an Atlanta United fan from their first season. I now live in the Nashville area of Tennessee, and so they're kind of my second team, and I follow them too. And because once you have a team that you can root for, now that of course that affects other matches in the league, those that are in the same division or in the same conference or somewhere near you in the standings, you have a reason to, based on who you're rooting for, who your favorite team is, to who you want to win or lose this match over here. So you know how that works. You've got to have that rooting interest. And I don't understand how this American soccer fan would rather watch foreign leagues where they're removed from any foreign interest. I don't get it. But anyway, I'd rather watch somebody local. I'd rather have, this is us. We are Americans. This is America. We have Major League Soccer. This is the league I'm interested in. I'm going to say this. No, it's not the best league, but you know what? It's not terrible. People don't give it enough of a chance. This league is a lot of fun. Sometimes it is just insane. It's just crazy. Crazy things happen. This league is also very evenly competed. There's not a case of just one or two strong clubs that dominate and win every year, and everybody else is playing for crumbs. Parity has been the priority for the management of this league from the very beginning, and anybody can win any year. So that makes every season's competition is just wide open, and you don't know how it's going to go. So to me, that's very compelling. And also, speaking to the rising quality and the rising level of respect that Major League Soccer is getting around the world, the United States, Major League Soccer, has become more of a player in the global player transfer market. And we're now respected as a place to find young talent. So we have become a selling league. We've prioritized now being a selling league. Typically, we are a path to Europe for South American, Central American players. And so, and we've seen a lot of outgoing transfers to England and to Europe. And so the quality of play is good. It's not the best in the world, but it's good. It's entertaining. It's evenly competed, and the quality of players that we're producing is respected around the world, even if not by those watching on television in this country. So I think if you were to choose a team to root for, by the way, you probably have one close to you. There are now 29 teams in this league. That is on a par with NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. Find a team that's close to you. The other thing is, you step down from Major League Soccer and you go to the second division, which is the USL Championship. And even below that, you have USL League One. These are smaller levels of play in smaller towns, smaller communities. And there's a whole bunch of those clubs. And if you don't have a Major League Soccer club near you, you probably have a USL club. And do this, go to a match, you'll have fun. But anyway, that wraps it up. I've gone too long. We've got, I'm going to do videos soon on the offside rule, and how also maybe try to figure out a way to articulate how to watch a soccer match and to understand the action that's happening on the field. And I think if you can start to see the code, right, start to see that 3D object on the stereogram, and then once you see it, maybe you get a lot more excited for what we're doing. Nothing to report on the U.S. national team side. There will be matches played in March. We still have an interim coach. There's been no hire for the sporting director GM, or manager positions. So we're all kind of in limbo with US, and I'll certainly be on to talk about that. By the way, I'm just going to say this real quick. I understand that for casual fans, it's a lot easier to tune into these episodes or to watch matches on television when it involves the U.S. national team. It's easier to get into the U.S. team than it is for Major League Soccer coverage or a Major League Soccer match when you're not a fan of the league and you don't have a favorite team. I understand that, but you know what? That precisely gets to my point, the same point I was trying to make about why I prefer MLS over Premier League, for example. And that is you need to have a rooting interest. And it's easier, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, for American sports fans to feel a rooting interest in the U.S. national team, right, than it is to care about like Kansas City versus Austin on a Friday night if you're not from either of those areas and you're not already following the league. So I get it. So you need to have a rooting interest to care. And however, I'm going to keep following the league. I'm trying to report on it. I also want to do more to educate the non-fan on the sport. So again, like I said, I'll be trying to cover some of these areas. I've had more than one person ask me to try to explain the offside rule. So I'll definitely be trying to do that very soon. Anyway, the MLS season starts this weekend. So until then, watch some soccer with me, and I'll talk to you next time.